Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single-barrel-only liquor store. This store is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Get signed up for their email distribution list to find out when the store will be opening, what their hours will be, and most importantly, what they will have in inventory at abvbarrelshop.com. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebartogo.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we check in from vacation with a bonus show of original content. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-hosts Steve Akeley and Justine Mays.
Hello, what's up, gang?
Guys.
Hello.
This is a true bonus. It's an original show. This isn't from the archives or anything like that. This is a real show in the middle of vacation because we thought we'd break up the vacation with one new show right in the smack dab in the middle of it. Right? How's that sound? Exciting, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So McNew, everyone sounds very excited. McNew, you said there's something you want to talk about. What is that?
Okay, I have a very important question for you guys.
Okay.
And it's one that Chris and I discussed, but we never came to a conclusion. So I want to know, do you think if when you pass away, if you were under the influence, would your ghost just walk around drunk in your afterlife? Like, if that's how you die. Like, are you just gonna be that way?
I don't think so.
A drunk ghost. It would be insane.
I always feel like when someone dies, and you always, of course, think about relatives and stuff like that. But to me, they're a healthy version of themselves at that age. So like my dad passed away from a heart attack. He's not walking around winded or experienced that. But he's still that age. I wouldn't see if I meet my dad in the afterlife, he wouldn't be a 30-year-old guy for some reason. It feels like he'd be that age. So I feel like the same thing. If someone dies while they're drunk, to me, they would be sober. And the same thing if they died of a car accident, they're not all beat up or cut up or anything like that. But they are the age at which they passed away. That's in my version of it. That's not based on anything I've ever heard, read, know about. It's just oddly
sentimental. It was nice. That was nice, Steve.
So yes, that's my idea. Justine, how about you? I don't know if there's probably anything you ever thought about. It's a weird question, but it's probably worth discussing.
Yeah, I mean, so my first inclination was, you know how they say, like, people always make jokes, like, they don't want to die in like necessarily the clothes that they're in, like, because you have to like wear that.
That's your ghost outfit forever.
Right.
So my first like gut initial response was kind of the same thing. And it's like, well, if you have to wear the same clothes that you die in, then why not be drunk as well for the rest of
That's exactly what I was thinking. And I don't know if it's correct.
Then after Steve gives his answer, it's just like, okay, yeah, that's the logical answer, probably. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like my first thing was like, you know, there's always that joke, and so like, yeah.
I don't know. Do you ask the question? What do you think?
See, I see both sides now. Like, yeah, you come out like healed on the other side, so you're probably fine. But the worst thing than being drunk for eternity, because that would actually be pretty fun, just to drunk over all the time. I would have a blast. But what if you came out hungover and you're in some weird hungover purgatory for life? That would be terrible. Awful.
Oh, that would suck.
So if I had to pick between the two, I hope that I'm a drunk ghost. Like, I just want to tumble down the stairs and some shit over. I want to have fun.
you gotta believe that's how it is, right? I mean,
I don't know.
they always talk about heaven's the best place in the world. You don't want to be up there where you're drunk or hungover, or you want to be able to talk to people. You want to be able to approach. I feel like I would have a list of people that I want to talk to, and it'd be this crazy weird list of, I want to talk to Colonel E.H. Taylor. I want to talk to Elvis. Marilyn. I'll talk to Marilyn Monroe. I want, this George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. It would be this weird kind of crazy list where I would just start like checking off as I meet these people. After famine.
Steve has like an afterlife bucket list.
Oh yes, yeah.
All these people.
This is happening. I don't want to be drunk for these meetings.
They're going to be sober for these.
Right.
Honestly, though, like if you think about it, when somebody who's like, very terminally ill and like suffers for a while and passes, like the first response that people say is they're no longer in pain. So like Steve's answer is the logical
He does have the logical answer.
Where they're no longer in pain. They're like their best version of themselves up there. So yeah, that's probably more than likely what happens. But the other answer is the fun answer.
Yeah. It's like we could be logical or we could have fun. I don't know. And that's what Chris and I did. I never got a conclusion, and I asked my neighbor, and we had the same conversation. I never get a conclusion.
Yeah. I feel like we should just look to Star Wars. I mean, we know how some of the characters died, and you'd see them in the afterlife at the end, where Luke looks up, and there's Darth Vader, his father, and of course he died in this horrible thing, all crippled up, and he looked like he did when he was of that age. But he wasn't all beat up and all that. And Obi-Wan, of course, also, the same age when he died. So I think that's the right answer. I think you're the same age, but yes, you're not in the pain. You're not crippled up by that kind of stuff, which would be nice. I mean, I hope so. I hope it's a good place.
That's the happy answer.
I hope we're in a happy place when we go. I mean, that's I don't want it to make it eternal. You're in heaven, but it's an eternal hell because you're hungover all the time, or whatever scenario you come up with. So.
Oh God, no.
Well, guess what? Even though we're on vacation, we are still drinking. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Justine. What do you got there, Justine?
I do not have a cork pop. I have Old Forester Rye.
Old Forester Rye. Oh, that's a good one though. That's nice. All right,
I don't know. Can you hear me unscrew?
Yeah, there you go. That was a nice unscrew top there. So yeah. All right, McNew, what do you got?
I have some Weller Antique.
Okay, just okay. I've got Elmer T. Lee. I found this bottle. It's almost full, and I haven't opened it for a long time. So I'm hoping it's going to be a good cork pop. So let's see what we got here. Come on. There you go. That's vacation victory right there. That was enough. That was enough to win. So yeah, worked out pretty well for me. I'm enjoying vacation. First original cork pop in how many days? And then we got how many more after this? So I'm the champion for a while. Cheers, gang.
Cheers.
All right, we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, it's our vacation shenanigans. We're basically mailing it in while we're on vacation. We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot in the greater St. Louis area. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only focuses on single barrels. We aren't open just yet, but our plan is to have the most diverse single barrel offerings from our many friends in the world of bourbon. By signing up for a weekly email, you will know our entire inventory we have on hand. In addition to single barrels, we'll have a tasting bar and a gift shop featuring logo merchandise for both the shop and the ABV network, as well as a full curriculum of bourbon education classes. Additionally, we'll use the gift shop to feature products from our partners in the world of bourbon, companies like Art Eatable Chocolates and Old Man Bay Signs. Head over to ABV Barrel Shop to sign up for our email and text distribution list so you can stay in the know. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent visits to Kentucky. Today, he's leading the way for young distillers making their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery combines family history, a look at what makes their products unique, and of course a tasting through their whiskeys, moonshines, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com and visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
This is also Freddie Mills going underneath the alias of Danny Kennard. You can find me on Facebook at any time. Just look up Danny Kennard, but I am Freddie Mills. Trust me.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we have Vacation Shenanigans.
Yes, we do. So I've had the luxury the last, probably month, I guess we've been working on the shop at this point now. I think we closed on the 18th of April, and as we record this, it's the 12th of May. So not quite a month, but seeing Jim, I just don't understand how someone can do the stuff that he does. He's not working off of blueprints to build the stuff that he does. And a lot of the stuff he keeps saying, I've never done this before. I don't know how to do this, but I've watched YouTube videos and I think I can figure this out. Are you guys amazed by someone who could build things like he's building in that shop?
Yes, my brother and husband can, and I just don't know how their brains take an idea and make it tangible. Yeah, I can write you a story, I can tell you a story, just like you can, Steve. But I can't build something. There's no way. It does not work that way.
Yeah. Same thing for you, Justine. Are you in awe by that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think what he's doing is pretty awesome. My dad is like that. The things that he's built, like the machines that he's built out in his workshop is just amazing.
Your dad's mind doesn't work like yours, though, right? I mean, those people that can do that, there's something special they've got. I don't comprehend how it works because my mind doesn't work that way. I can't do anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I told you before, after my dad last year had went into cardiac arrest and he was in a coma for 3 days. And when he came out of the coma, he had been awake for 2 days when I finally got to see him. And he asked me for some paper. And I didn't have any, so I went to the gift shop, bought him a couple of pencils and some paper. And he did not remember the last week of his life or anything in the 2 weeks before he went into cardiac arrest. Mm-hmm. But then he sat there and drew this windmill that he wanted to build in the yard, and then proceeded to tell me he has some solar panels that he bought at a store that was at home, and how much energy he could produce from the size solar panels that he had with this windmill that he wanted to build.
Yeah.
That's and crazy, he couldn't even remember the last 3 weeks of his life, but he could draw this windmill.
He's drawing a windmill. Yeah.
Yeah. And then 2 weeks later, he happens to come across the pad of paper in the house, and then he didn't remember drawing that.
Really?
It was just I don't know, it's just the way that their brains work is just, I don't know, amazes me.
Yeah. I stopped in today, and as we record this, I'm getting ready to head out for vacation. And we're in the middle of the vacation week, but again, it doesn't necessarily line up as things happen. But the funny thing was that as I was getting ready to depart, he's in there, he's tiling the floor, so he's got a composite tile, and he had asked me to do that. Because he's like, you just put them down on the floor. And I'm like, Jim, I can't tile. I don't, I can when it's just absolutely straight and there's no cutting. But, I saw what he was doing. He would lay down a tile. He would eyeball it. And then he would have a little chalk thing. It looked like a pencil, but it was chalk. It wasn't like lead. It was chalk. And he would just make these lines. And then he'd go over to a board and he would cut it. And then he'd go and he'd put it down on the floor and it would fit perfectly. I would have spent all day measuring, remeasuring, doing all. He just eyeballed everything and was just eyeballing, cutting, putting down. and just doing it as quick as can be. He asked me to I could do that. I could do the tiling part. It would take me the rest of the year, though. The shop would open.
We're opening in December.
Yeah, he's almost got the floor tiled.
Yeah,
I don't know how you do that. I don't understand how you can look at something, know what you have to cut off, and it works. That would never work for me.
I don't know. So my husband can do that. Like I had a glass outdoor table that shattered last year. So he's like, we're not getting any more glass. So he built a whole wood top. But like I said, this is, the size it needs to be to fit on the deck. He just drew a picture of it, like marked the inches, centimeters, whatever the hell you measure in, and made it like real life size. I'm like, how do you do that? Like there's so many numbers and cutting, and it's perfect. It's beautiful. I don't understand how they do it.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful because I can't.
Yeah. I mean, I'm grateful as we build that store out. I mean, it's cool. Yeah. If it was like me by myself or, me with a partner who didn't do anything, we'd just be buying fixtures and be like, oh, isn't this cool? We have this bar that we bought from Walmart over here. Isn't it awesome? And instead we've got this thing that's all custom built and all that kind of stuff.
Like you just buy an IKEA bar and it takes 2 months to put together.
Right. I got the Allen wrench out. Yeah. So it's been really cool, and the person who's really into this, it's so amazing to me. Gary Heingartner out of Woodhead Spirits, he loves it. He keeps calling in. Well, how's the band coming along? What's going? What do you guys got going? What's Jimmy doing today? So yeah, he's big into it. So he's checking in and seeing what's going on. He's telling all his friends, in the distilling world, you need to get on board with this. This is something special they're doing here. And it's cool. Gary's he's a great guy. I mean,
yeah, Gary's fun. It's exciting that he's excited. Jules Budd is another guy that's excited. He sent me a message on Instagram the other day. I was like, are you going to be at the grand opening? I was like, I plan to be. So whatever it is.
Yeah. He is fun. He's stopped by a couple times too. And so Jules, he's new to us, but he's a St. Louis guy, which is kind of cool. But he comes to us from Richard Paul out in Colorado. He collects art, and he knew the models that Richard used in one of his first painting things, and because he collects the art from those Harley artists that do that, so he had reached out to Richard. They became friends. He is big into Richard's art and stuff like that for the label art, and buys the the prints and stuff like that. And Richard introduced him to us, and he's been hanging out with us. He comes out to the shop, and just a nice guy. He's always like, hey, you guys want pizza?
Yeah, he sends me a message. I popped in today. It's looking good. I was like, yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah. So we are actually on board. It's June 9th right here. And knock on wood, July 9th is the scheduled opening date. So, and it looks good for it. We're getting all of our licensing done and things like that. And the last big hurdle is the liquor license, and that sounds terrible, but in Missouri it actually goes pretty smooth, and Jim has applied for it, and I think it'll only take us about 10 days. So I don't know if we'll be able to charge for pours, but we can do free pours, and then eventually we're going to be doing pours for cost. That way you can try any of the picks that we've got. For right now, we're going to limit to like 2 free pours, but and we'll always have a couple free ones. That's going to be part of what we do. 2 free pours, and then you can buy the other ones. But we have to go in front of the liquor control board before we can do that. You have to say what you're going to be doing at your bar, because we then fall under a bar, even though we're just a tasting bar. But it'll happen. So I don't know exactly how long that takes, but it's going to be fun.
Whose duty is that? Are you going together, or is because Jim is building everything? Does this?
It falls under Jim. Yeah. So
it falls under you.
Yeah, it falls under Jim. And the reason why all this stuff falls under Jim, because I live in St. Louis County. He lives in Jefferson County. The business is in Jefferson County. And you get some credit. Things are cheaper and pass through quicker, I would assume, because he's a Jefferson County resident. So we have him on all the business licenses and stuff like that. It just makes life easy. He pays taxes in that county and all that. So, it makes things go a little bit smoother versus me. I don't live in that county. So though I'm close, I live closer to the shop than Jim does, but I do. I'm like 8 minutes away. And Jim's like a half hour away, but yeah, just where it works out. I'm right at the county line. So yeah, but it's going to be so much fun. Gosh, we get there in there, and Jim and I are just like, we just want to hang out here. This is the place where we want to hang out at. I mean,
I know. I already called dibs on my spot, so
yes, yeah. So
dibs in, I guess.
yes, I think that may happen. I think we're going to work on something special for those chairs. So yeah, I think McNew may have her own spot there. It's not empty when you're not there, though, McNew. So
yeah, that's fair, but I'm going to be like, hey, I'm here. You got to move.
Tap on some guy's shoulder.
Got my name on it. You got to move.
Yeah, gotta move. So, yeah. So that's going to be cool. And we're just trying to do a lot of stuff like that. We're trying to tie in things from our friends in the distilling world and our friends, ABV Network. So this will be kind of cool that the chairs will have the names of the people from the ABV Network on them. And I love the idea. So yeah, and then
special, like you're tying in like so much of all of our worlds. It's just going to be really, really special once it's up and going.
It's going to be home for all that stuff. So it's going to be cool. And Old Man Bay, because he's moving, he lives in North County for the moment. He just closed on his house in South County today, so he's down by the shop now. So he's down. He lives by me. So yeah, he's going to be real close too. So we said when, of course, Old Man Bay has to spend a lot of time in his workshop. But he also does a lot of social media things and stuff like that. When he's not working in the workshop, he's going to come out to the shop, and Jim and I are going to work in the shop. So I'll be editing shows. Jim will be doing our books for the Barrel Shop, and Old Man Bay will be doing whatever he needs to do online. So yeah, we're going to hang out there. Even when
that's like the coolest little like work spot then. Like coffee shop, you go to a liquor store.
Yes, and we've been lining up bourbon celebrities. Freddie No, talked to him yesterday, and he liked the wall that we've got in there, the Booker No box wall. He said that was really cool, and he said I'm going to put you on the schedule. Of course, his schedule's way out, but late fall, he's going to be coming to St. Louis for a market visit. He's going to come by. I talked to Robert Licorice. He's going to be in town in September. He's going to come by. So yeah, people are starting to line up. So. Good. We're going to have a lot of bourbon celebrities there, so it's going to be the place to be. And of course, McNew and Justine. I mean, there you go. There you go. So that's what's going on. Again, look for July 9th. I think we're very confident that's going to happen. So confident, knock on wood. Justine booked her airline ticket today. She's coming in. So
regardless of whether you open or not.
Right. Justine will be here in July. Yeah. So yeah, we need to make the shop happen, but yes. So yes. And Justine will be, she committed to me to work behind the bar at the grand opening, which is kind of cool. So her and my sister-in-law are going to help out. We just think the response that we got, Jim and I just started talking, and it could be a really bad experience because the shop's not that big. And if we're too bogged down and it's just Jim and I trying to run down and run 2 cash registers and pour samples and all, we're like, the people will hate us. And we'll lose all the goodwill we got from our grand opening. So we're going to have people helping us out. Normally it'll be just Jim and I working, but on that date, we're going to have friends helping us out working.
Yeah. I was planning to come, Steve. Let me know what you need. I can help out.
Okay.
Do you know like what the max capacity for their square footage is?
No, we'll get that soon. We have to have a fire inspection, and they will tell us in there. Once everything's set up in there, they'll tell us how many we're allowed to have in the store. So it could be some crowd control, like hey, we can only have 45 people in there or whatever.
You might do it. I hate the idea of doing it because it's fun to have everybody there at the same time. But you might do like 9 to 11, and then like not really sell tickets, but be like, hey, you got to book a time slot, like 9 to 11 or 12 to 2 or I don't know. That sucks, but
it does.
A little bit of crowd control.
Yeah, because we have no idea what to expect. So and you know how it is with bourbon fans. They're going to want to get there early because they're going to want to get whatever we've got. We're going to have some cool stuff when we open the doors, and they're going to want to get there for that. So it's hard.
You got to think about your neighbors too. I don't know if those shops are
yes.
Open, yeah.
So that's right. We're thinking about
around my store.
We're thinking about opening really early. Yeah. Because the places right around us do not open early. And that way hopefully we can get past the big crowds. If we open at 8:00 in the morning, we've got a boutique next to us and a spa and a nails place. So we figure if we can get to kind of the big crowds out by, a couple hours by 10:00, it'll be better. Yeah. Cause our neighbors Might not like us if we're got everything blocked off and people snaked around and in front of their business blocking the door. Yeah, we don't need that.
Did Jim really get that phone call today, or was he just joking?
No, he really got that. He called me. I had been there and I had just left. And he called me and was like, "You're not going to believe this." The phone rang. And the first phone call we ever got at the shop was someone asking for Weller 12. And I have no idea. I guess they did a Google search. I mean, we are on Google now. So maybe they found us and thought we'll ask. But yeah, if you go on our website, we already put that we don't have any allocated releases because that's not who we are. We're single barrels. And as such, you think about when it comes to allocation, first of all, we're not even in business yet, as the guy calls. But then the second thing is, even if we're open, it would be the first year. And then the third thing is, we're not buying, Fireball and the other things that you're required to buy.
Why don't you want us all Wheatley vodka, Steve?
Wheatley vodka. Yeah, you got to buy those type of things to get the special allocations. There's other things you got to buy, and we're not going to be buying those because we don't have a shop. We only sell single barrels. We have nothing against selling. We'd love to do Blanton single barrels or some of the cool ones. That do single barrels, but they're probably not going to give them to us because we're not buying the other stuff. So we just realized we're not going to have that cool stuff, but we're going to have so many cool things from our craft friends that people haven't had the opportunity to try before. So that's where we're going to be neat. So should be fun. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time, and just stay tuned for more information. I would suggest you head over to abvbarrelshop.com and make sure you get on our email distribution list. So that's going to be key. Even if you're planning on stopping by, our hours are going to vary. Week to week, even we'll have some kind of set hours, but then if we got to go out of town for an industry event, it's just Jim and I, and we'll shut down the shop on a Saturday to do an industry event because that's what gets us into being able to pick other barrels is having the relationship. So we got to foster those relationships. So sometimes it means the shop might be closed. So it just happens. Yeah, we're different than your regular liquor store. We're not them. We're us. That's who we are. So on that note, we will wrap this one up. And of course, I encourage you to listen. We've got the best of the Bourbon Daily the rest of the time on vacation. So you'll be able to hear some of the shows from years past and even some current ones. But the three of us here do a little introduction to those each day. So it should be fun. Let's talk about where people can find us. Justine, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at JA_Maze. You can find our shop at abvnetwork.com and on Instagram at abvnetworkshop.
All right, McNew.
I am on Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. The important website, though, is abvnetwork.com because everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, the ABV Network shop. If you want to order things online, it's all out there at abvnetwork.com. And McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I would like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right. Great job today, gang. I hope you enjoyed this little bonus while we're on vacation, and we'll check in soon. Take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the Hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's upcoming Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with a national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.